So, there were a few of you who, I don't know, I think might have, just maybe a little bit, thought that the video I made was woke. Oh no, guys. Not woke. The thing that right-wingers don't even know what the definition is. Nobody does. You've made it up, woke. Usually meaning anything diverse. Except, woke now also means if you side with a victim in a drama. Woke now also means if you believe in science, like climate change. Woke now also means that if there is absolute evidence that someone, may have done something shitty and you believe it, you're woke. All I did through my video was say, hey guys, Iskall's response was very aggressive towards both the people he employs and his previous, I guess, employers in the form of Hermitcraft. Very aggressive in a way that I don't think fitted the situation at all, and I think what Hermitcraft did was reasonable in comparison to Iskall's crash out. Clearly Z1 Hayes here did not agree with me. My bad. I apologize for showing the fact that Iskall actively tricked his employees into providing their personal information so he could shame them and sue them. Sorry, I won't use that word. Do we just live on two different planets where what Iskall did to his employees, according to you guys, is completely reasonable just because he owns the business? That they go, hey, we have some complaints and we think it's a good idea that you might change it over. And he goes, all right, send a formal legal request to me with all your names. So they did, and then he goes, they're extorting me! They sent a legal request that amounts to extortion! They're extorting me! Is that not... did they not do exactly what he asked after they just voiced some complaints? How is that woke? I really want someone to explain to me how what Hermitcraft did, how what the Vault Hunter staff did, how what I did was W-O-K-E, woke. Because I'm agreeing with the employed instead of the employer. The word woke doesn't even have a meaning anymore. Well, I mean, it never really did, but at this point, everyone's just pointing the woke finger. I don't know. Here's another comment from Real Ninja 123. The other hermits are woke, sensitive crybabies who bend to the knee of their even softer fanbase. Although, the community is still in grade school, so why would anyone expect them to understand the concept of assuming innocence until verdicts are made? I guess cancel culture is dead because Iskall is still going to continue to profit from YouTube. That last comment was sarcastic, by the way, but I feel like this comment misses the point incredibly. Very well. I'm impressed with how well you've managed to miss the point, sir. Hermitcraft has a public responsibility to stay out of things that could possibly harm their young audience. And when one of their members is being outed, especially in this sort of climate where in 2024, people made a joke about this, they had a calendar, a pedophile calendar, one for every month. We can't have situations where a Hermitcraft member is having sexual relationships with fans that are exploitative in nature, even if they're not young, they're exploitative in nature, and have no explanation for it. At the end of the day, we have to remember that Iskall resigned. Hermitcraft didn't accuse him of pedophilia. They went to lengths to make sure nobody thought it was pedophilia. Multiple members came out and go, hey, it's not pedophilia. They weren't accusing them of that. They just said, hey, here's some drama. We need you to explain it for our brand. Hermitcraft is a brand. They have brand responsibility first, to protect their audience first. Iskall chose not to respond at the advice of his lawyer, and Hermitcraft decided, well, we're not going to wait for this to get litigated out, because it could cause even more trouble. We're going to get rid of him, or at least prompt him to resign, which he then did. This whole woke, sensitive crybabies thing, because they saw allegations, went, hey, can you explain them? Iskall said no and resigned. How does that make Hermitcraft woke, sensitive crybabies? I don't understand. Help me understand why that makes them woke, sensitive crybabies, that they were doing due diligence around their company. They didn't accuse Iskall of anything. They never did that. They never even tried to cancel Iskall. Iskall blew this all up through the Streisand effect. You think half of the fucking Hermitcraft audience would have known about this situation if Iskall didn't make his cancelled video? He was never cancelled. It's very confusing. He could have made a video why I resigned from Hermitcraft. He could have explained why he couldn't, say the allegations and the unfair time limits. That's fair. But he proceeded to accuse Hermitcraft of trying to destroy his career when they did no such thing. That makes me woke and sensitive? Sure. Here's another person. I would say it's completely valid to ask for contact information and signatures of people who want their project to be transferred, especially the ones who are being transferred to. That's reasonable, yes, it is reasonable for that, sure. However, that ignores the context that Iskall then took that letter to cry extortion. Of course he wants to know who he's transferring the project to, that makes 100% sense. But then for him to take that note, to fire people, and to cry extortion in his very public video against some staff members that are just random people, I don't understand. That is obviously abuse, like abuse of your position, abuse of your power. I feel like that is very obvious. Continuing, Iskall has invested a lot of money out of his own pocket, and they probably have their own investors as well, who want legal proof of the transfer. That is true. However, they don't have investors, by the way. It's Iskall's sole project, but I will give you the benefit of the doubt. Yes, of course you would want to know who it's transferred to. Furthermore, he already their employer and already has their information. That is true. Why would he need to bait it out of them? That's not what I was saying. You missed the point of my video completely. I was saying he baited them into sending the email so he could cry extortion. That's it. He took the email, and instead of going, okay, I reject your claims, he went, okay, they're extorting me! They're extorting me! Help! That's what he did. That's the equivalent. I think it's an IQ malfunction. I genuinely do. I think for people to take my videos or to take Iskall's thing at face value without any critical thinking is the result of an IQ of someone resembling a calagmite. I don't understand. Or maybe I'm the dumb one. In addition, I would like to add, there is some truth in the statement that Sweden is less woke. I'm from Norway, a neighbouring country to Sweden, and the culture is quite similar. Here it is, example, not nearly as looked down upon to use the N-word. That doesn't make you less woke. Okay. The point that Safnik was making was that, guys, Iskall can abuse Iskall can abuse his fans. Iskall can do that. Iskall can sext his fans because he's from Sweden and he's not used to the cultural norms of America. Because America's woke. Whoa! Completely ignoring the fact that Karalis is also from Sweden. Completely ignoring that. Karalis hasn't had any of these issues. Sure, Sweden might be less, quote-unquote, woke when it comes to the N-word. Now, why would that be? Why would that be? Could it be the fact that people of African descent only make up 2% of Sweden's entire population? 1.5 to 2%. Could that be the reason the N-word is not looked down upon as much? Could it be the reason that Sweden doesn't have a rich, colourful history, quite recently, of racial violence and racial prejudice? Although I'm sure they had their own issues. I'm just not educated enough to speak on them. That would be the reason that Sweden is not as quote-unquote woke. However, Sweden does allow religious books to get burned and all other sorts. I would consider them quote-unquote woke, even though it doesn't have a fucking meaning. They're just progressive. But in the way that Safnik described it, which was...
Iskall is also just from a different culture. He's from Sweden. Ever since I started watching Hermitcraft in 2017, I noticed that. The rest of the Hermits are from the US, the UK, etc., those countries, so obviously the culture is a bit more different and a lot more woke. So I think it was never meant to be.
Aralis. He's from Poland, but he lived in Sweden for most of his life. I do not understand. I don't understand it. But yeah, no guys, just remember believing the victim is woke, wanting employee rights is woke, not wanting to be abused by your employer is woke, criticizing Iskall is woke, going after him at all is woke, and sayonara bitches. You need in, bro? Oh, Jesus Christ!
Trying to do what's necessary, I mean any means. Doing something wrong if I ain't got no enemies. tryna start with us until we lay our heads to sleep. Yeah. If they shootin', then we shoot back, keep that energy. It's a long road, nigga, been a lost soul.